Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I thought it'd be interesting to watch the market open. I wanted to start this at 8:30, but then I also wanted to come outside. And by the time I got reset up outside, the market's been open for a second. I was just telling a friend of mine who's also a trader, another option bro, that that I think we fill the gap by the end of the week. But I mean, maybe I'm crazy. I think this gap will be bought just like the other one is. I'm looking over here, and so far it's, I don't know, not really. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let's look at, the first thing we're going to look at is the charts. And then the second thing we're going to do is look at my portfolio and the buffer report and the index buffer report and that kind of stuff. Do the normal morning update. Hey, Mark, how are you? I'm glad to see you. Thanks for being here. Hey, Ethan. I was going to go to Discord and post that I'm live, but I'm so far behind. I'm trying to do too much stuff at once. I can't even get my chart up here. Okay. I was up late doing a lot of research last night. I was just trying to find solid will candidates, just like we're always talking about, or maybe like maybe will candidates too. Anyway, but trying to find stocks that should bounce here. Good, good stocks. Analysts love them, everything. Anyway, we'll talk about all that stuff later. See what the darn market's doing. On my iPad, it looks like we're right about where we closed. This is an interesting one, just LFCR. That I was just started researching that one right before I fell to sleep. But that one's very interesting. A couple of others too. We'll talk about those later. What I was looking at on the gap down this morning is that it doesn't gap past the past low. And right now on the daily chart, it looks like we're still inside the past low. The other thing I'm looking at is VIX is not confirming. And I don't believe breadth is confirming, and a lot of stuff is. I'm not saying the bear market's over or whatever, but I'm saying there's no way we don't bounce here. You cannot convince me we don't bounce here. I ought to quit this podcast right now. I ought to get onto my Tasty Trade account, knock about 5 or 10% out of my YQQQ and put it into something bullish. I just have a feeling, but maybe I'm crazy. But I think this may be the lowest price we see in a week or something. That's what I'm saying. Surely we bounce from here. I mean, there's no way we don't bounce from here. We'll see. At this prior day's range, especially if we get a 30-minute close inside it, and especially if we get 2 30-minute bars inside it, whatever time frame you study, I use 2 bars as the standard for gaining acceptance inside that time range. We ought to travel to the other side of it. But if we can't get acceptance inside this trading range, well then we'll probably go to 540 by the end of the day. I mean, or that's probably in the cards, and then I guess maybe lower prices later. But anyway, that's what I'm looking at today. Is that trade? It's the prior day's trading range, and I'm also looking to see what volatility does. And VIX of VIX, which is volatility of volatility, which is the ultimate smart guy indicator, is even less bearish than VIX, and even so less bearish than VIX future. So I'm hoping that VIX is right. I mean, anything can happen. A tweet could come out, and but I'm hoping as long as the market keeps trading freely, without interference from tweets, we should bounce for a few days. Come on, there's no way we don't bounce. Undercutting the last low and then bouncing is a classic bear market pattern. And then having huge bounces. Lots of times the bounces. Wonder if we bounced and filled this gap today and had a 3% up day. I've seen it happen. It could happen. Very could happen. And then that could be the place to step in with puts. And then at that point, anyway, whatever. All right. Well, the Qs are inside the prior day's range. It's kind of early to tell, but on a 30-minute bar, it's 21 minutes into the day. The Russell is hopefully inside the prior day's range also, and it isn't. But that's what I look at. I just look at trading ranges and Bollinger Bands and just basics: supply, demand, support, resistance. Anyway, so Russell, unfortunately, is more bearish. Okay, so look what else I started checking out last night. This might be interesting. Flow, live flow. Now, this is 15 minutes delayed because I don't pay, and I do pay for Option Strat. I even have an affiliate agreement with them. They need to give me the live flow for free, but it's 15 minutes delayed. Anyway, I was this morning calls out of the money, Q calls. So watch here, out of the money and above the bid ask, or above the ask or below the bid. People are buying, or there's bullish. People are buying SPX calls. People are bearish in E-mini futures and light sweet crude. But I mean, there's, so let's see what this was 15 minutes ago. It was people selling their, or well, now actually this is people buying protection. So I don't know. I guess I just started using this yesterday. I guess I don't understand how the tool works, but you can filter for different things. There's too much stuff if you don't hit out of the money and above bid or below ask. But I don't understand how it calls up put spread. How this right here, there's $40 million worth of bullish flow in SPX. All right, well, show us the flow. Okay, and it says only some of it's fun. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe they're only showing some of it, and maybe the other ones that aren't showing are the bullish part. I don't know. I guess I need to do it, but it's like $59 a month. It's whatever. All right, guys. Well, check this out. So here's my allocations in my model portfolio. YQQQ, and this is as of last night's close. It was up to 25%, but it's because the market keeps going down. That's what I'm saying. I could probably knock that back down to 20 this morning, and I should have done it probably on the opening print. So I bet you we bounce from here. And then when we bounce back up to someplace we fell again, at that point, then I could, then at that point, I might adjust something else. Take a little out of GPTY and put it back into YQQQ. Anyway. All right, let's see how much. It's 1 minute till it starts working, but it's showing that I'm down $1.51. I say $1.51 when I mean 151 basis points. I've always said that. Sometimes I say 50 cents. I mean 50 basis points. I need to quit doing that. We're down a point and a half. I'll just say that. And let's see what's doing it to me. YQQQ's up, of course, up 3%. Good job, YQQQ. It's making me 80 basis points, 80 cents, so to speak. Well, that's why I call it cents, because cents is a basis point. Anyway, you guys get it. GPTY is killing me, down 3%. Alti down 6%. Jiminy criminy, Alti's costing me 1.26%, costing me more than 1% of my AUM this morning, just ULTY alone. Anyway, that's why we have YQQQ. And that's also why I have GDXY, which isn't working for me today. Oil must be down. We may need to look at that. XOMO is not really doing anything yet, but I did see that I saw some. I bet that's up by the end of the day. And of course, inverse Coinbase is up and inverse NVIDIA is up. So anyway, right now, the good news is, though, I'm not outperforming. I'm outperforming. I'm only down 1.5, or even a 60-40 portfolio is down 1.6%. And this is on a pretty bad day in the market. So this is a good stress test. This is exactly the type of, this is exactly what I was expecting. So I guess for now, I'm not going to touch the allocations. All right. Well, let's. What else can we get in the middle of? Let's look at maybe the buffer report and see how that stuff open. I mean, it is going to be ugly. I may have closed that window last night. Where is that? Maybe it's here. Yeah, there it is. GPTY verse. I want to upgrade a bunch of. I'm planning on upgrading the channel, and I'm planning on either getting something like Unusual Wells or something like that last service, going ahead and paying for the live flow since we talk a bunch of options here. I think that could be really good, but I want to choose wisely. I can't afford to get every service out there. This one looks really good too. This is FinViz Pro, and this is good for a different reason. We can talk about that stuff later, but like I say, I'm torn right now between Unusual Wells or maybe getting the full featured option strat. I think those are good options, and I probably need to pull the trigger on that. But I'm thinking about FinViz Elite. So now, at least on the SPY has lost the prior day's range. It's whatever. I'll show you what I mean by the VIX bullish divergence here in a second. I should have shown that right off the bat. The Wi-Fi extender's working. It's plugged in. The computer's plugged in. I'm outside. Everything got to be working perfect. I don't know why it isn't. I got one thing that's working perfect this morning. Jax, what are you doing, buddy? He's working perfect every day. It is a beautiful day here. It says 73 down there. It doesn't feel that hot. All right. Jimmy, crime. I don't know what that was. Well, that's ugly. Get that off my screen. That's GPTY. You got to be kidding me. Get that off my screen right now. Where's the Altiverse? Holy cow. Look at Restoration Hardware. But I'm going to say it right now. I'm weaving. I'm going to weave into the Option Bro lane. I was on the flow, and I was looking at, there's some did a $1.3 million bullish butterfly on Restoration Hardware. So I thought it was a good idea. So I put it on too. Lost money. But the good thing about that is, and that's the reason the hedge fund did it, and the reason I like it, is you can walk away from that. There's no unlimited loss in options. He took a shot. It didn't work out. His loss is 1.3 million. My loss was 500 or 600. It hurts, but had I tried to buy shares, wonder if I was doing a poor man's covered call on Restoration Hardware. I mean, seriously. And it's down 40% this morning. Holy cow. I mean, my Lord. So that's why I love those little directional butterflies. It's a cheap shot. I mean, I know $600 doesn't sound cheap, and neither does 1.3, but it's a cheaper shot than it otherwise could have been. But in any event, all right, enough about Restoration Hardware. Okay, that's in there. When did, I guess Jay put that in ULTY because of the earnings? He had the same idea. Man, well, that's a bad one. There's not much to say about that chart. I mean, even HIMS is down. If HIMS is down, it's over. If HIMS isn't up, you can forget about it. All right, so let's look at LFGY. Well, LFGY has Riot Blockchain. Would you look at that? Good old Riot Blockchain. The market's still under the prior day's low, but it's bouncing a little bit. It's not like the end of the world's happening or something. I don't see panic. That's why I think it bounces. The bears, when they don't make much progress, when they can't get a much lower than the prior day's low, and volatility people are already calling BS on it, but eventually the bears will cover, and when they cover, and then FOMO people will think the bear market's over, and we'll buy, and we should have a face ripping rally. I mean, right? We should at least get half of this gap. But I don't know. It's not looking like a great prediction so far. But I'm not inside watching news flow. Like I say, and all that stuff I'm saying is notwithstanding a tweet coming out or something. I'm saying if we keep trading in the news for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and the news doesn't change, I think we should bounce. All right, well, that's ugly LFGY. Now GPTY, okay, GPTY has IBM, so it's IBM and Riot Blockchain. What a freaking odd couple. But maybe instead of, I'm just looking, I hate just being, I have puts, of course, but it's just boring. I'm always looking for something. That's why I did Restoration Hardware. I was also thinking maybe the market bounces. It's a good earnings report. It was, it was also kind of a hedge against it. Anyway, maybe I should have done something and bought like IBM, a call spread in IBM or Intel or something. Intel's been real steady lately. Let's see. I don't know if it's down today. It's probably down today like everything, but pick something that's going against the grain. That's kind of what I was searching for last night when I was up late. Something that's going against the grain or something that's going to turn the fastest, the thing that's least affected by tariffs. Pharmaceutical, for one thing, I noticed. Yeah, Riot Blockchain. So that's on LFGY. Okay, so we have Riot and IBM up, basically. All right, so let's look over here at the index buffer report. This is going to be ugly too. It's going to be feeding 5E. There's no doubt. And probably SVOL. Well, probably I'm going to say not SVOL and ZVOL because volatility is not confirming. If SVOL and ZVOL are leading, that like it was 2 weeks ago when they were down the most, and sure enough, we had 2 more weeks worth of the market pulling back. When they stopped leading, it's another way to kind of look at if volatility is confirming the lows or not. And I may be wrong. Maybe they are leading. Maybe this is them. Now it is. Yeah. ZVOL is down 6%. All right. Well, it's not working well today, but SVOL's not down. Where's SVOL? SVOL's down. It's down fractionally more than the market. Anyway, I'm telling you, volatility is not confirming the low. Forget what I said about ZVOL. But it is good news when you see those two going up. But of course, feed in 5E because they have the concentration. 5 even just has shares of the stock itself. They have covered calls. Then they also just own shares of the stock. But the problem is it's only 5 companies, which is great when the market's going up. Concentration's great in a bull market. Not so great the other way. Now look at this WDTE up 1.6. I don't believe that. Fire funds up. I guess that's worth checking out just in case that's correct. This Fire Funds is a fund of funds that has a bunch of other funds that I like in it. FIRS. It's the Fire Wealth Builder. But there's no way it's got to be a bad print. Yeah, right now it's down 72 basis points. But it has, let's see what it has in it. It has the SoFi 500. I've heard good stuff about that. I've never checked it out, but I don't know much about the Madison ETF Trust. I don't know anything about the Carbon Collective Short or World Gold Trust. Okay, well, that's been great lately. I love this one. I was looking at this one last night too, where it's one of the title ones. It gives you exposure to Bitcoin and gold. You get 100% gold and 100% Bitcoin because they use leverage and they stack it. May not be so. Proceed with caution, I guess. But in theory, when gold is doing well, Bitcoin, they should hedge each other in theory. And so, I mean, it's and this year the ETF is up, even though it's half gold and half Bitcoin. Bitcoin has not had a great year, but gold surely has. So gold surely has. All right. Well, I don't know why FIRS is up. YQQQ is up. I know why that's up. Everything else is down. Let's focus on the ones that are down the most. Look at YMAX and YMAG. YMAG especially is also a concentration issue. They're always going to lead on the way down, but also on the way up. But then also, not to mention, then you have the added factor that Mag 7s are out of favor and are terrible. They've been selling it every chance they can get. So, good time for YQQQ. We have options. Let's look over here at Yield Max Buffer report. See if there's any good news. MSFO up a little bit, and Airbnb up a little bit. Abney. Yeah, the market's not looking good. Let's go back to the market. All right, because we've seen everything I have to look at. If you guys have questions, we can talk about them. I also did a bunch of back tests last night. I actually worked a bunch last night. I got to turn off this. Yes. That's what's slowing me down. I was running these TradingView screeners. The TradingView screener is really powerful. I love it. That we could talk about it after hours. Okay, so maybe Russell was right, because Russell was never within the prior day's range, and sure enough, now nothing else is either. Oh man, these are running badly. What are you guys up to today? Looks like it's getting ready to pour here. Hey, Trent, thanks for being here. Susan, thank you for being here. Norman on the West Coast. Sun's just rising out there. It just came up an hour ago or something. But anyway, yeah, Norman on the West Coast. Mark, I'm glad to hear you're doing well today. All right, so let's look at some other stuff. I tried to close down some tabs and make this stuff go faster. Hey, does anyone know about this company? The reason I have this tab open is so I wouldn't forget about this, and I would have forgotten about this had I not left the tab open. There's a method to my madness. Anyway, this one is a very interesting company. The options are not liquid and are not super liquid, but it could be possible to run a small wheel on this one. This is a potential, what I would call a potential wheel candidate. And a real will candidate. I'm looking for will candidates sometimes like Soxol, that's like a virtual will where I'm just selling puts and buying calls. But no, a real will where you might want to pick up some shares. That's what I was looking at last night. Anyway, now that you guys saw that, you guys let me remember that. But Simulation Plus, there was 2 or 3 companies once I ran the screener and this was another one, Apogee Enterprises, and because at some point, and I was hoping today, but at some point, it's going to be sooner than later, the pullback's going to be over and we're going to need to look for stuff going the other way. And I'm panicking because all I have now is, well, other than Restoration Hardware, is Q puts. Let me show you that trade in Restoration Hardware. I just saved the well trade. By well, I mean the big guys trade, the $1.3 million trade. You can just open it in Option Strat, and I just hit save so we could see how he did. But well, it doesn't save his number of contracts. It just saves the one lot trade. But anyway, but what I was trying to show about a butterfly that you can walk away. I just like stuff you can walk away from. You don't have to worry about when you sell a put, you can't walk away from it. You can because you have the cash on. I mean, I guess you can because they won't let you sell the put unless you can have the cash to pay for whatever it is you're selling the put on. My issue is, though, the thing is, depending on what you sell the put in, you can end up in a kind of a rough situation. You do something like this where you're just taking a bullish shot because essentially you're buying an out of the money call spread. So what could go wrong? Let's see. I mean, and this is what could go wrong. You could miss, but your loss is contained to where in the heck how far up was this freaking thing? Holy cow. I keep having to set the target higher and higher up to see it. Okay. Yeah, if I remember, the market was, I think, 240 yesterday, 220, something like that. I mean, it was kind of an ask. But if you look at the probability, where this trader put the profit center, or whatever it's called, was the profit tent, was right on top of the market maker expected move. Exactly what the market makers thought it was going to do if it was a bullish move, and they didn't get it. So, but anyway, I did this pretty much the same trade. So great job, Max. My puts though are, to be fair, my puts are doing all right this morning. So it's whatever. Okay. Well, the Qs, you guys can watch this too. We're just going to be fighting this low all day. But the point I was trying to make about volatility is we can look at, no matter how we look at volatility, if we look at, especially if we look at volatility of volatility, at least last time I checked, this was nowhere close to confirming. So look, so volatility of volatility, this is when the volatility traders were thinking it's, I mean, March 3rd, it was, and still going up. Ever since then, we've been on a decline. We've broken the, and even this, I'm hoping this is an anomaly that's sold right away by I just think that no way we don't bounce here. No way. This would have to get a heck of a lot worse for us not to bounce here. So, in my opinion, you guys think we bounce here? Yeah, no, I read what they did as a provider for, what they do is they help biopharma do trials, but with AI and stuff, right? They can simulate any molecule or something, was all I started reading it. One of my friends that I talk with every day, and he's an option trader as well, and also into Bitcoin. He's a scientist. He works in the medical tech field. And so we always talk about stuff like that, but I've never heard of that company. But anyway, good morning, G. Yeah, I know it. Tiny, small market cap, because I could take that off I need to maybe quit scanning for that. I mean, maybe it's too small. I need to, in the scanner, I could request, I could switch it to only include bigger ones. The thing was, I'm trying to find maybe a company that doesn't exist. It's not for me, it's for a friend, but I'm trying to find companies that are 10, 20, $30 maybe to do the will, but the kind of will where you actually try to get the real will, not the cynical will. Like I have a kind of a cynical view of the will. I financialize the will or whatever. But I mean, so anyway, but yeah, how small is too small, but I don't know, but this TradingView, I've used TradingView for charts forever, but I've never used it for the scanner and stuff, but it's really powerful. You guys probably know that because you guys probably use it. Does anyone have any thoughts on Apogee? I mean, I just like the numbers on them that, because I was running a scan, I think for under $50, but it had to great earnings. Analysts either had it rated as a buy or a strong buy, and it had more than 10% earnings growth or something. I had 3 things on it. I'm just trying to get things that are, that are kind of hidden gems, but there may not be such a thing because all those things, that's how Planeteer was 2 years ago. And now it's $90 or whatever, So, I mean, but anyway, but this is an encouraging chart that you have this right here is what I'm talking about on the bearish divergence. And remember, VIX trades inverse of, so what looks bullish is bearish on. But anyway, but now let's look at just VIX, the VIX index itself, and it's up today, and it is over the low we made a couple of days ago, but it's not over that initial low. So whatever happened this morning didn't shock us as much as this did. And and then we can look at VIX futures, which trades 23 hours a day, just like S&P futures. And this gives you faster signals and stuff because it trades overnight. And it definitely took out the other day's high. And I mean, it's close to taking out this high, but no cigar yet. And it doesn't mean, I know that doesn't really tell us anything because by the time it does take this out, the market's going to be down another couple percent. It's going to be too late to do anything about it. But I'm saying the fact that it hasn't taken it out yet tells me something. So yeah, I think we bounce here, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I'll do some more. Maybe I need to do some scanning and maybe require at least $1 billion or yeah, I think I saw that last night. I was going $500 million. That's not very big. Or maybe make it at least 10 billion or something and try to get a little bit better. But then at that point, I bet you I can't find anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything else. It's not even so much for me. For me, something for me, you know, some index thing would be, or really for me, XSP would be the best. SPX is big, but there's XSP, which is cash settled, European style option, all that good stuff. The only problem is it's not very liquid, but I'm just waiting for that. But I can't do anything while the market's not recovering. I'm showing the SPY, you know, second time period just opened 5 minutes ago, and we've already taken out the first time period's low. So it's not ideal, right? Anyway. Just for, well, now I was going to say, hopefully they're just I mean, there is a big open gap here that needs to be repaired between 540 and it was back where the August bounce started. It started off the August bounce. We returned there once, and there was massive buyers there, and it set off a massive rally. You know, we went from 540 to 610 in 6 months. That's the way, I mean, when it goes up, it just melts up so fast. And if you aren't on board, you know. But what the good news is when it goes down, like it did in 22, it'll go down and it'll drop, it'll come back, it'll fail, it'll make a new low. That's the pattern we're in now. I mean, so, you know. Anyway, I guess we'll just wait and see if we can hopefully make a bottom here at 540, and because underneath that there, you know, I'm going to bring up a daily chart. I'm probably going to regret it because it makes everything run so slow. That's fine though. But we've looked at this several times, but we don't want this to happen. But you know, right now it's trying to. I'm not saying it's going to get all the way there, but you know, I mean, bears would like to revert this thing all the way to the mean at 400. But if you look at how far we've come, you look at this gap that we're probably going to right there from the August bounce back. We pulled back, and then everyone's like, "Oh no, we're too low," and you know, and it was off to the races and left behind a gap. There's still, hopefully, there's still buyers here. But if there isn't, then we're probably going to look at the August lows, right? And that's 508, something like that. So we shall see. I appreciate you all for being here today. I'm going to get out of here and let you guys get on with your day as well. Since it's a busy day in the market, I'll come back on at lunch. How about that? Because I want to see what's happening with this market. See you guys at lunch. Have a good day. Thanks for being here.